Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United versus Watford Premier League preview, fast paced now, Thursday, Sunday. This is the way it's going to be, and this is a must-win game for Manchester United. Watford, much improved under Pearson, but not as improved as many people think. I think they've only won one in their last 5 games, so they're not on a great run. They're still very much in a relegation battle. They have had a couple of weeks off. Their winter break weekend was last week, so they'll come into it fresh. They do need a result. I think many Manchester United fans would consider this game to be a draw because it's the sort of game we do draw, and I think that is the betting person's result. But I think Manchester United will win because Chelsea Spurs tomorrow lunchtime, massive game, absolutely massive. I'm going to do a watch along for that actually on That's Football. You can join me on there at 12:30 tomorrow. But if that is a draw and United beat Watford, we'll be a point off Chelsea in 4th spot. So we've got to win on Sunday. It's getting very congested. I think Wolves are playing Norwich, Sheffield United are playing Brighton, so if they win, they close up as well. So we've got to take this opportunity, and I think that we will do, but there's a lot of things, before I get into the team news, there's a lot of things surrounding this. We've also got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments about the game that he did after the draw with Bruges last night. But a couple of things I want to talk about, positives, negatives. Anthony Martial. If Anthony Martial was lazy, he wouldn't have scored that goal yesterday. Anthony Martial has got the same amount of goals as Sadio Mane's got this season. Yet Anthony Martial is deemed to be not good enough and lazy by some fans and some people in the mainstream media. Anthony Martial's not getting the service. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said this after the game yesterday. And look, I question Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future at Manchester United. I can't hide away from that, and I know many of you do as well. But I have said Ole's got to keep the job till May, and then we've got to reassess it. We don't need the instability. An interim manager's not going to work, and the manager that we want to come in won't come till the summer anyway. So we've got to just go with this, whether we're comfortable with it or not. And Ole isn't completely clueless. He does speak a lot of sense, and especially about our strikers. I think there has been an improvement with Anthony Martial. And what he was saying after the game is that Anthony Martial's got to be patient. Over the last 2 games, he's been patient. He's got 2 goals. He's made one himself, and he's got on the end of a brilliant cross and a great header. He can't drift wide. He's got to trust the players around him. But what Ole also said is he getting enough service from those players around him? No, he's not. And last night was a prime example. If Club Bruges hadn't made a mistake, we wouldn't have scored a goal. So Martial's goal came out of nothing, took it very, very well, got us the point. Agallo comes on for 25 minutes, looks bang average because he's not getting any service. And this is what Rashford had it at the start of the season. You can criticise our number 9, but in playing at number 9 for Manchester United is a thankless task. It really is. You have got absolutely no service and you're living off scraps. So I think cut Martial some slack, and he's got 2 very good goals for us in the last 2 games. I expect him to score on Sunday as well against Watford. The other 2 players I want to quickly discuss are Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw. Now, Luke Shaw gets a lot of stick, and as people know, I always stick up for Luke Shaw, whether it's on Twitter or on here. I think Luke Shaw is a very, very good player. I don't stick up for him because I like the look of him or he's English or anything like that. I stick up for him because I look at footballers and I don't always get it right, but I can see a player there. I said it about Bruno, who hit the ground running, and he's hit the ground running. I think I want to talk about Bruno in a minute, but Luke Shaw, at the moment, is arguably our best centre-back over the last month. He was brilliant against Liverpool about a month ago, and every time we've asked him to play, he's been really, really good in that left centre-back position. I don't want us to play a back 5, so I think Luke Shaw should go to left-back because he's playing well at the moment. And Luke Shaw deserves the credit. I don't know why people get so het up about, oh, Luke Shaw's crap, Brandon Williams is good. It's like you've got to pick sides. They both play for Manchester United. You need 2 players in each position, and Brandon Williams is a teenager. And what we saw with Brandon Williams against Bruges last night, and I don't think he's played well recently anyway, but last night was his worst performance. I've been saying this for ages. They need to share the role. Brandon Williams can't play every week. He's a teenager. And as a young player, you will get burnout. You will get inconsistency. He needs to be nurtured. He needs to be taken out every now and again. He's playing too much. I feel sorry for him. I think he's a great prospect for the club, and he's shown that already this season, but he is not ready to play week in, week out. And unfortunately, like Rashford, like Pogba, like James, like Wan-Bissaka, like Maguire, Brandon Williams is now on a long list of players this season that have been overplayed by our coaches. And Brandon Williams has been overplayed. We should go to a flat back 4 against Watford, and Brandon Williams should be rested. Not dropped, rested. He's got a really good future. He doesn't deserve the criticism. He's a young player. It's just youth inconsistency. Look at Chelsea, the team that we're chasing down. Brilliant at the start of the season. Lots of young players. inconsistent results. They've lost 9 games. You're going to see that with young players. It's why Greenwood can't play every week as well. So I would play Luke Shaw at left back there. I want to just say about Bruno Fernandes as well, who will start against Watford. In that 10 minutes he played against Bruges, he was the best player on the pitch. He was man of the match for 10 minutes because in that 10 minutes, he wanted the ball all the time. He wanted to make things happen. He was showing leadership. How can Bruno Fernandes do that in 10 minutes and Mata, Lingard and Pereira can't do it in 80? And Bruno Fernandes is a starter for the team. Like, he's not doing it to force his way into the team. He's already a starter. So those 3 players need to have a long, hard look at themselves and say, why this season have we been so consistently poor? And yet a player that's been here 5 minutes can come on for 10 minutes and look worlds apart better than us. It's a mentality and it's an ability and it's an effort. And he put them to shame. He really did put them to shame. And none of those players can moan about lack of chances this season. I think under Mourinho and maybe even Van Gaal, people like Pereira, Mata didn't really get as many games as they deserved or chances. But this season and over the last year under Ollie, all 3 of those players have had chances and all 3 of those players have wasted those chances. What did Ollie also say? He said that Scott McTominay might well be back in the squad for the Watford game. He's cut back quicker than expected. He was really talking up McTominay and his leadership and his ability to run through brick walls. Good to have McTominay back. I wouldn't mind McTominay playing next to Fred in the midfield, but let's not rush him back. I think Matic can do that job. Well, hopefully Matic can do that job. We're asking him to play 3 games in 6 days, which is a big ask for Matic against Watford, who will be energetic. But I would stick with Matic and Fred because they've been doing quite well. And obviously Bruno ahead of those. But McTominay is going to be back very, very soon. Pogba himself has been talking about his injury and said that, these things take time. I need to sleep, eat the right food. I don't want to come back and get injured again. And I think that is a mindset of Pogba we've got to be really wary of now. Pogba will play for United again. But what Pogba wants to do is come back fully fit with no risk of reoccurrence because he does, any injury you pick up now could put you out the Euros. That's any player now, whether it's Bruno Fernandes for Portugal, whether it's Harry Maguire for England. You pick up an ankle or a hamstring or a knee injury now and you're probably putting yourself out of the Euros. So Paul Pogba, who doesn't even want to be at United and desperately loves playing for France, his mindset now will be, I maybe could be back playing at the end of February for United, but if I wait till the middle of March, there's no chance of me having a recurrence of the injury, and then I can get myself back for the Euros. He's putting France before Manchester United, in my opinion, and that's that is his right to do that. Well, why should he not come back till he's fully fit? It all goes back to why we kept him in the first place. So that's the Pogba situation. So it's good that McTominay is back. Ollie also spoke about Chong and Gomez. Said they're trying their best to keep them. I mean, look, this is an embarrassment. I spoke about it on the watch along last night. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last summer let Lukaku and Sanchez go and told us all that Greenwood, Chongi and Gomez were the future and they were ready. We've seen bits of Greenwood, we've seen nothing of Chong and Gomez because of this contract situation. So from a summer ago where we were talking about these players being our future to now where we won't even pick them, what is our future? So why weren't these players sign new contracts? Probably because they think that they should be, might be playing time. Might be they think they should be getting more money. Who knows? But the club yet again, embarrassingly, has let contracts run down. And it doesn't matter whether you're a young player or Ander Herrera or Anthony Martial or David De Gea or Phil Jones or Ashley Young. We've got a history of letting contracts run down, and it is morale sapping for players when you play for a club where they don't value enough to renegotiate your contract before it's run out. It's poor. It's all about the money again from Manchester United. But on to this Watford game. How should we line up? I think the most important thing is that we don't play 5 at the back. When I was constructing this team, I was like, I'm not putting a 5 at the back. I hate it. I don't like it. It doesn't work. We don't play very well with it. I know we beat Chelsea with it, but they were the better team. We're boring to watch. We don't create enough chances. We're just playing not to lose. We're grinding out results. This is not Manchester United. I am not putting a 5-3-2 out. But when I did the 4-2-3-1, which is, look, I wouldn't pick that formation either, but I'm trying to predict what Ollie's going to do. 4-2-3-1 will be the formation if it's not the 5 at the back. When I did that, I thought, actually, you know what? I can pick the team very easily, but when I get to the right side, that's where there's the problem. And I was like, we could put Lingard there, but why does he deserve to start? Why does Pereira deserve to start? Why does Mata deserve to start? And then I thought, well, Greenwood. He hasn't played the last 2 games. I know he's a bit ill, but Greenwood's the option to play there. James has got to play off the left. Martial plays up front. I think some people have said, well, we're playing 5 at the back because we've got lack of options. We haven't got lack of options. He just doesn't want to use some of those options. I mean, look, we've just mentioned Gomez and Chong. Either of those two can play out wide. They're just not being picked because they won't sign contracts. But James can go on the left, Greenwood can go on the right, Martial can go up front. Agallo can come on, Martial can go to the left, James can go to the right. There is options there now that we've got Agallo. So we need to go back to the 4-2-3-1. The midfield 3 takes care of itself. Bruno, massively important in this game. Get him in that hole ahead of Fred and Matic and we'll be fine. Luke Shaw at left back, Wan-Bissaka comes in at right back. Eric Bailly has to retain his spot. De Gea comes back in. Maguire plays. And actually, that team looks a lot better than last night where we know we rested players, but we also played a poor system. 4-2-3-1 with that team should be enough to beat Watford because there's not enough players in that team to, I think, be suffocated by the negative tactics that we play. I think Bruno gets the ball, he wants to do stuff. Martial gets chances, he scores goals. Dan James and Greenwood, look, yeah, they're a bit risky, but it's the team down the spine that's strong. Bailly and Maguire strong. Matic has been good. Fred's been superb. Bruno looks great. Martial's in form. That spine with De Gea in goal can win us the game against Watford. Supplemented by 2 very good fullbacks at the moment in Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. And it takes the pressure off James and Greenwood a little bit. But also, I think, let Dan James play the position that he knows. He's struggling, Dan James, massively at the moment. He was a left winger from Swansea. Put him on the left wing. Mason Greenwood, he can play off the right-hand side. And with Wan-Bissaka behind him, the support's there. So I just think that team is the very obvious team to play. If we go with a flat back 5, or a back 5 or whatever, you're going to play Wan-Bissaka at wing-back, which he doesn't like playing. You're going to put Brandon Williams at left wing-back, who is exhausted and doesn't like playing there. And you're going to have one less forward. We're Manchester United at home to Watford. We need to win this game. We need to win this game. And if Watford score 2, we score 3. Let's not try keeping clean sheets and nicking a goal at Old Trafford is my message. We need to go and win this game. And if we win it, momentum's with us. We'll be 3 games unbeaten in the Premier League against Wolves, Chelsea and Watford. We go to Everton next week. If we win there, I think top 4 is pretty much ours just to go and grab. I know we've still got Man City and Spurs to go, but 9 points from Chelsea, Watford and Everton would be the platform, would be the consistency, would be the momentum that we need. And I expect us to win on Sunday. I do. I think Watford are dangerous. They're workmanlike. They've got good players, but I think they're susceptible at the back. And I think they've been susceptible at the back all season. So there are goals there. When you're playing against a team that's weak at the back, you need to attack them. If you play defensively trying to nick a goal, I think Watford's strength is going forward and in the midfield. If we let them attack, they can attack. If we attack them, their defence is where they're weak. And I think that's what we need to do, which is why I think we'll win 2-0. But, look, we've probably got ourselves through against Club Brugge now. I think at home against them, they left a lot of space at the back. At Old Trafford, I think we'll suck a couple of goals in. I can't see them scoring a couple against us. Beat Watford at the weekend. We're in a top 4 race because Chelsea keep opening that door. So, as concerned as people are around Manchester United, and I think tactically we're not there, are we? We're a long way off, but we have got some decent players. And I look at that 11 there, and I think Eric Bailly back if he can stay fit. Wan-Bissaka's without question one of the best right backs in the league. Luke Shaw's doing great. We've got Brandon Williams as well. Left back's looking good. Harry Maguire's starting to get good as a captain. He scored a goal as well. De Gea looking a lot better now. Matic has done a good job. McTominay's coming back. Fred's been superb. Bruno looks amazing. Martial scoring the goals. Yeah, we miss Rashford, we miss Pogba, we do. But I think we've got a spine of a team, and that is always what everybody talks about, the spine of a team. And let's not forget Bruno Fernandes as well. Remember, look, I don't need to say anything about Bruno. You know I've been on about Bruno for ages. It was Gary Neville who said, look, we've got to be patient with Bruno. Not many players in January adjust quickly. And I said, look, I really do think he will. I've watched a lot of him. I know what his character is. I know what sort of player he is. He's an all or nothing player. So he's just not the sort of, he's not like a Kagawa or a Mata, a technician or a Mkhitaryan. He wants to be involved in the game. He wants the ball. He wants to be the focal point of the game. He'll try a pass. If it doesn't work, he still wants the ball again. He's energetic. I knew Bruno Fernandes was not going to be a player that took time to adjust, because he wants to be involved all the time. And I would say he's our most important player already after 2 games. He so wants to be involved in the game. He is such a positive. And I heard somebody saying it yesterday, Bruno Fernandes could single-handedly keep Solskjaer in a job. Look, I don't think the more I think about it, the more I think this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves this football club, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be a good person to have around this football club. I don't think he should be a manager of this football club. I think we need a proper coach who is experienced but hungry, who plays a good brand of football, who knows what they're doing and can demand the respect of a team that needs to grow. I think it's too much to have a team that needs to build a spine and needs to build experience to be led by a coaching staff that hasn't got that experience. I think it's an anomaly. But I do think that maybe we can find a place for Solskjaer at the club and bring a proper manager in the summer with a proper coaching staff. And I think we would have to move people on. I think, some of those coaches that sit with Solskjaer probably need to go. Solskjaer himself, I think he's a good guy. I've always liked him. I just think he's in the wrong role at Manchester United. But we'll have to see. And I think Manchester United should be making that decision whether we get top 4 or not. I think if Solskjaer manages to get top 4, it shouldn't be you've managed to do it, you keep your job. I think we'd need to look at how we kept the job. I mean, how we got top 4. Does he get top 4 because everyone else is crap and we've been crap? We could get top 4 and have our worst season since 1989. To me, that would be a massive sign that something's not right and maybe we need to make a change. And I think a lot of United fans are hoping this. They're hoping that even if we do get top 4, we still have the intelligence to make the change because we're not going in the right direction. I would hope that's going to happen as well. But we've got to get top 4 first, and that discussion can happen then. Or it could be happening now. Maybe United should be making a decision now, regardless of the situation, and saying, this isn't going the way we want it to go. But we have got a role for you, Ollie, at the club, but this is what we're going to do. Do you want that role? I wouldn't have a problem with that. But in the immediate term, I think we've got the players now where even if the coaching isn't great, we've got quality players. Look at Martial last night, something out of nothing. And I think Bruno's a something out of nothing player. I think the defence is looking tighter. I think the defence I think we defend better with a back 4 than we do with a back 5. So let's see what happens. Massive game. Anyway, I'm back live tonight at 8 o'clock, but I want to give a shout out to the podcast. It returns this week. It's exclusive, the podcast. There's a Ricky impression, there's a Scouse impression, and there's a lot of your questions answered as well, and there's a prize giveaway. So make sure you give the podcast a listen. It's available on loads of platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, the lot. The links are in the video description. Give it a listen. It's going to be up there every week. It won't be on YouTube, so give it a listen. It's free to do it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. So do give it a listen. I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight as well. Thanks for watching. Smash a like. I'll speak to you all soon.